Okay there, boys, we got some Chaos Lord action from WizardCat. The big tanky boy of the Chaos Forces, going to be facing up against the big tanky boy of the Tyranids, the Buggos. Hive Tyrant, Beholden Baton. This is a sloppy Saturdays. How sloppy will it be? Well, you're going to have to watch to find out. I don't know. I just watched a game between Destoffel and Pax playing as the Chaos Lord. Destoff was the Lictor Alpha, and Destoff just went crazy with melee spam. Literally triple Hormagaunts, triple Warriors into double Gene Stealers, and it just rolled over everything. But ironically, the Chaos Lord is really bad against that shit. So I'm just seeing the double Termers, and Chaos Lord's so much better against double Termers, it's unbelievable. So we'll see how it goes. This is obviously not the same level of skill, but nevertheless the Heretics and the CSM are going to get overwhelmed quite easily on this side. It's pretty tricky for the Chaos early on. There's not really a whole lot you can do. Your Heretics are going to get beat one by one by the Hormagaunts. Your Heretics can't do jack shit against the Hive Tyrant. The Heretics ideally want to catch isolated Termers, but they're slower than Termers, so if the Termers actually kite and don't let the enemy get into melee charge range, you shouldn't catch them with Heretics. And your Chaos Lord just gets kited. So Chaos Lord kind of wants to meet the Termagants as well, whereas the CSM then wants to meet the Hive Tyrant and pew him down. Oh wow, look at this. Really fast Rending Talons. Now that these things got the nerf to 25 power, I do not like going for fast Rending Talons. He's going to probably get a wipe for it though, so screw you, Torpid. He got the wipe. Is that really going to live? 4 HP? Oh man. Feels bad. Investing 25 power to get that war gear, you really need to make a play like that and get a wipe with it, because that's a lot of resources, dude. It means he doesn't have a tier 1.5 coming right now. Now, he also did go for this Toxin Sack, so that's doubling down on that. And obviously, we see a Havoc here from WizardCat, and that's just going to repulse this entire push. And it's not like Beholden Baton managed to even get the map control with this push. He was really trying to attack that gen farm. So this is bad. This has put Beholden Baton in a huge back foot. It's hurt his economy because he hasn't gained sufficient map control. It's also hurt his build order because he's really late on tier 1.5. For some reason he's going for Spore Mines. I find that very odd at this point. Spore Mines are fine against Chaos to counter Heretics in the other game, but a bit late now. It's 125 rec that you kind of need for building tier 1.5. Also, he's dropped 3 gens without getting a tier 1.5 unit. This build is messed up, Baton. You need to work on your macro strategy, my guy, because this doesn't make any sense. I do like that he got both of the crippling poison upgrades, given that he's got 3 gens, but you need to prioritize new units. That's going to be a lot more impactful than getting all these upgrades. So we'll see. Some Raveners could have been nice to get a nice melee blob going and to actually have a good counter to the Havocs, and then get the charge armor on the Hive Tyrant. He does have the charge armor. He's going for Bioplasma too. A bit weird to get the charge and the Bioplasma, because now you're not going to have the energy to Bioplasma, charge, and Rending Talon. Usually you just get one or the other. And if you're going to go charge, you're going to go Rending Talons as well. AC Tick's getting beat here by the Hormagaunts. Not typical, but obviously a lot of focus fire from the Termagants, and the Hive Tyrant manages to pick up the kill on retreat. AC Tick's not going to be able to return the favour onto the Hormagaunts, and now the Spore Mine's putting on a lot of damage on the Heretics. Termagants kite beautifully. This is an easily won engagement. I don't think he'll kill the Chaos Lord. Maybe if he meleeed with these Termagants straight away and these guys were focusing him down, that would have been a kill. But Close, but not quite. Still, good engagement there for Baton. That's going to keep him in the game for sure. Needs to just get on the map control, but he is. Spawners. Wishing they could cap right now. Look at the eco difference here, though. Because Baton literally went for no... nice bioplasma, not back into the homoguns. I didn't expect that for some reason. Normally you kind of retain that for like anti-garrison or something. It's such a weird build. I don't know why he has the bioplasma and the charge. Like, he literally has no energy to use all three of these abilities. It just seems odd. But yeah, either way, Baton, he did alright there. He won that engagement, basically because the Havoc... No, the Havoc was there. Yeah, it just got wrecked by the charging Hive Tyrant. I don't know. Who needs tier 1.5 when you're playing IDs? Not Baton apparently, but what's he going to do with it? He can go tier 2 now, he is floating a little bit. Honestly, the Chaos Law is just so bad against Tyranids, he doesn't do anything. So slow. No damage. Oh god, friendly fire on the spawn mines, no! Not like this. Chaos Lord needs to be careful, there's a lot of DPS coming out of that Hive Tyrant. And both players are going to go to tier 2 at a similar time here. Baton has a crazy amount of requisition. It could prove pretty good for him in tier 2. I really think he should get some Adrenal Gland Warriors out. Probably some Gene Stealers as well. We could wait and see what WizardCat goes for. He could go for Venom Brood. Just give them the ranged Synapse. The Termagants are putting in a lot of value. So I don't think it's a bad idea. But we'll have to see. Man, the retreat damage in the spawn mines is kind of ass right now. They got mega over-nerfed. That much damage on the heretics from one explosion on retreat is really bad for 125 rec. If you're going to buy the spawn mines in tier 1 and not out of the towers where they're way cheaper, they're only 50 rec out of the towers, so they are good out of the towers. Especially for anti-garrison, but if you're going to pay 125 rec for spawn mines out of the base, only do it against Chaos or other Tyranids, because they do counter heretics and homogats quite well, but you need to do it right at the start of the game, and you need to really make use of those spawn mines. Like, don't even blow them up if you don't need to, just use them to scare the enemy, so you get free shots with your Termagants, and just deter melee. Because you just got to think, every time you press that button to explode, that's 25 rec. It's like losing a shooter boy. It's just not worth it, man. There's a lot of bleed. The Tyranids are quite a rec heavy faction until they hit tier 3. I say, whilst Beholden Baton has a shitload of rec and no power. It's because he's going for Endless Swarm. We'll see like the Galaxy Burn here coming out from WizardCat. We've also got the Demonic Visage. Alright, we're going to see the Adrenal Gland Gene Stealer play. I like it. It's pretty damn good against Chaos Lords. There's not a whole lot they can do. Even Bloodletters get kind of wrecked by Adrenal Gland Warriors plus Gene Stealers. And normally, you would counter that with your Havoc and shoot them down, but you've got this Bioplasma charging Hive Tyrant, so that's a little bit harder than normal. So WizardCat probably needs, I don't know, maybe like a Khorne Dreadnought would be good right now. His economy looks like it would be in a good position to get that kind of thing. Let's have a look. Yes, nearly got the power. How much is a Chaos Dreadnought? I think it's only 110, right? You should have the resources to be able to build that. We'll see, he's taking his time. He likes this play with the Rending Talons in retreat. It's not a bad idea. Look, it's free XP, why not? It's going to feed that XP to the Adrenal Gland Warriors. They become so much better when they level up. Not only do they get absurdly tanky, because the HP buff from Adrenal Glands stacks then with the level up HP boost, but it actually makes your Synapse stronger as well. Oh, beautiful damage from the Bioplasma. It's not a bad tool at all. I don't mind the Bioplasma, I just find it weird to get it with Rending Talons and Charge because you're not going to have the energy to use all three in a fight. Feels kind of redundant. You know, in the other game I watched, Zev did the same thing here that WizardCat's doing. He just fucking skipped tier 2, basically. Zev actually went for some Bloodletters, but that was about it. No upgrades on the CSM. We do see Eternal War and AC on the CSM, but not Mark of Tzeentch. Or Mark of Khorne. I find not getting the marks against Nids is crazy. Like, whenever you're Space Marines and you fight Tyranids, it's all about getting Plasma. So why, if you're Chaos, would you not get the marks, which make you do so much more damage to heavy infantry? I don't understand. You need to be able to kill those warriors. You need the marks to do that, really. Oh well. So yeah, a fast stack into tier 3, what you doing with it? You're gonna get a tank. Now, tanks are notoriously fantastic against Tyranids because Tyranids lack a traditional snare. You know, they don't have melter bombs, they don't have las cannons or anything like that. Now, they do have the electroshock grubs, but you can't get them if you've gone for Adrenal Gland Warriors, so there's nothing like that right now. And, you know, there's a lot of melee threats except for the Termagants, which obviously can't do anything. Tank would be great, is what I'm trying to say. Whether or not we'll end up seeing one is a different debate entirely. Perhaps not. Perhaps not. Yeah, we're gonna see it. Okay, cool. It's not a guaranteed win, though, at all. Hive Tyrant, in particular, is really good at dealing with tanks. I mean, he's the best of all of the Tyranid heroes. Like the Ravener Alpha, he can get ranged AV, but his ranged AV is way better than the Ravener Alpha, because the Ravener Alpha's Corrosive Devourer, it's a hybrid weapon. It's mostly good at killing infantry with its plasma damage, but the problem is, you see, it doesn't have fire on the move. The Hive Tyrant's Venom Cannon, it does have fire on the move, which means if you melee him and he forces melee on your tank, he's still going to shoot whilst he's walking at it. That's a problem. So it's way harder to just deal with him by tying him up in melee. If you type the Ravener Alpha in melee, it ain't shooting, period, because it's got no fire on the move. Then the other problem is, he's got the charge. So normally tanks are faster than infantry-based anti-vehicle, right? So you just run away. Well, he can charge after you, and then he gets +3 speed whilst he's charging. So he can pursue the tank with that, and then force melee afterwards. So you see the tank is going to be going for a Venom Cannon straight away. Ooh, it's a Nurgle tank. Interesting. It's always hard to know whether you go for a Nurgle tank or a Khorne tank against Tyranids. Obviously, the Khorne tank cannon will do a lot more. I mean, in general, the Khorne tank will just do more damage. So the Khorne tank gets a 75% DPS boost on the bolters and a 25% DPS boost on the cannon. The Nurgle tank cannon does less damage on the explosion, but it has this damage over time, which can be brutal. And also, you'll notice the bolters are honestly probably just as good, if not as good as the Khorne ones with a 75% damage boost, because they do damage over time. Does it tell me? An additional an additional 0.125 piercing damage over 5 seconds, so it's an extra 5 DPS. I don't know how much the bolters do. But yeah, it's probably on par. Anyway, here comes the Hive Tyrant. He's got the warp field now. Wow, he's really investing a lot in this Tyrant, but not good positioning for him here, walking right into Havoc's. Not really ideal. Gonna drop down some sort of ability. Is this without number? Yeah, without number, calling down a squad of Homogots and Termagants. We got Flying Warriors flying at the Nurgle Predator. Nurgle Predator does have 40% melee resist. It is slowed compared to a normal Predator. You see, that's the other thing with the Corn Pred. It not only makes that basic cannon stronger, it gives you more speed. So you can kite the Tyranids a lot easier. But when you're against a Hive Tyrant, you might be like, well, if he charges at me, doesn't matter how fast I am, he's still going to catch up and be able to shoot me. So it's probably better to get durability. Maybe that's sound logic. Either way, look guys, this Nurgle Predator is kicking ass right now. And then the other beautiful thing is it heals itself. Not fast, but it is healing itself. A Corn Predator would not be doing that right now. So it's contributing here, it's getting a bit more XP, killing towers, can kill gens, and it's just getting free level ups whilst it's healing. Not bad. A little bit confusing to see the triple gens dropped in the mid here. I don't really know what's going on there. I guess Baton was just floating a load of requisition that he didn't really have anything to spend on, and right now he wants a Carnifex, which he just got. Carnifex, as I was saying earlier, the Tyranid tier 3 is actually very power intensive due to Carnifex. Everything else in the Tyranid roster not really very expensive. But there's now a second Predator, so this is getting pretty scary. You see the Hive Tyrant there is doing the force melee thing because he's getting tied up in melee by the Chaos Lord, but as long as you keep your tank still, then he's just going to be meleeing you, and that does no damage because it's only normal melee. So we need to see some more AV, and we do have more AV right now. We've got a Venom Cannon Carnifex on the field, so this is like your dedicated tank hunter with the Tyranids. But look, now we've got a Las Cannon Havoc upgrading. He sees that, he's like, oh shit. And the second Predator is gonna get a twin-linked las cannon itself via the Mark of Tzeentch. And honestly, this looks very good for WizardCat, I dare say. I dare say. It's not impossible for Baton to win this compositionally. He's doing okay. Obviously, he just needs to send something in. He needs to fight with more units. He keeps sending just like the Carnifex and the Hive Tyrant forward, but he doesn't have all of his consolidated forces. He needs the warriors to be disrupting the las cannon. He needs to have the melee, or ideally the Termagants, to focus down the Chaos Lord, because the Chaos Lord could be tying up the Venom Cannon Carnifex. And then the Hive Tyrant needs to be engaging, ideally from a different flank to the Venom Cannon Carnifex, if he wants to pincer the tanks. Otherwise, they're just gonna reverse away. The Hive Tyrant's tanky, but he's not that tanky. He can't be face tanking like this. Oh, he's gone from invulnerable with the bonded exoskeleton. I wonder what's going on there. He's literally got like every war gear. The tank should not be just face tanking a Hive Tyrant and a Venom Cannon Carnifex. You see, now WizardCat is making the mistake that Beholden was a second ago. He's just fighting with two tanks and a las cannon when he needed his whole army here. Something to tie up the... Just kill the Hive Tyrant, shoot him, tie up the Carnifex with your Chaos Lord. The Carnifex will obviously win, but it'll take him a long time to kill a Chaos Lord in melee, and then your Predator is free to shoot. And obviously... The thing is, a Carnifex will always 1v1 a tank, and that's balanced because if the tank starts winning, the Carnifex cannot escape because the Carnifex is slower. Also, when the Carnifex turns around to walk back to base, it can't shoot out of its arse, whereas a tank can reverse. So, you know, he should be just tying it up in melee. The Carnifex is like, oh shit, now I'm getting shot by the tank and I can't shoot back because the Chaos Lord's hitting me in melee. Tries to walk away, you can't get away because the tank's faster than you and you can't shoot whilst walking away. That should have been how that goes, but... Yeah, I don't know, man. WizardCat took a really bad engagement there. I was focused on that central engagement. He was obviously looking over here. There was some sort of side capping going on with these two units, and it's a tricky spot compositionally because... WizardCat really needed most of his army just to deal with the Termagants and the Hive Tyrant plus the Carnifex, but he also needs most of his army to deal with the Adrenal Gland Warriors and the Gene Stealers, which is exactly why they were a really good purchase earlier on. And I think WizardCat probably has lost this now. He does have Chaos Terminators, but we'll see how they do. Good usage here of the Carnifex by Baton, forcing melee there onto the CSM. Venom Cannon obviously not very accurate against infantry, so he's still a powerful melee fighter, just force melee. So Termagant's capping, not Termagant, sorry, Terminator's capping the middle, with Termagant sent to stop them. I mean, that's not going to go very well. There's not really anything here to deal with the Terminators. Probably wants to swap back to the Rending Talons now. And yeah, the Carnifex going for a few melee hits, but not really ideal because of the Las Cannon Havoc. And it actually just repositioned, which Baton didn't realise. Gonna go for a Swarm Lord. I did see him queuing up a Neuro for up earlier. I mean, that would be the ideal counter to the super heavy infantry. Tyranids are lacking in range tools to deal with them. They do get the Death Spitter Venom Brood, which would be pretty decent as well. But that's Inferno damage. It's not plasma. It's just okay damage to all targets, including Terminators. It's not great. Oh, I like this Ripper spawn though. Yeah, I like Baton's play here with the Nids. He obviously he's got good strategy. I see what he's doing. I think most of his things holding him back here is mostly just micro. Like the strategy's good here. Spawns the Rippers obviously to tie up the Las Cannon Havoc so the Venom Carnifex can get its shit done. Not that it can really contribute that much DPS against Terminators. It's gonna miss them most of the time, but it'll hit them a bit. It's not a great melee fight because these guys actually do heavy melee. They've got a minor melee resist and the Venom Carnifex doesn't. But here comes a Swarm Lord, so no Neurothrope. Swarm Lord it's going to be. I mean, Swarm Lord with the Gene Stealers could be very, very scary to these Terminators. We'll have to see. Chaos Lord getting super low here. It's trying to get a kill a week on the Gene Stealers, but the Termagant's coming in, shooting him down. Oh, the Gene Stealers have to retreat before the Swarm Lord gets here. I don't know about that use of that ability with the Swarm Lord. Never mind the fact that it missed. Even if that hit, I don't think it would have done that much. Probably wants to save his energy for the Leech Life. Terminators do not want to be taking this fight with a Swarm Lord. Yeah, melee resists are not great. One of the Terminators actually dies. That's not good. Oh, and now there's a Neurothrope? Okay, yeah, Baton's got this. Baton's economy right now is insane. I guess he's not really bleeding though, is he? He lost a couple of Gene Stealers, which are like as cheap as Orc Boys. Didn't bleed any Warriors. And he's only been losing 1 or 2 Termagants for like the past 5 minutes. So yeah, I mean, no bleed equals more units. So, Neurothrope on the field now? Where is it? Did he cancel it? Guess he did. Probably wants another Carnifex. Strange. Gone for the Crushing Claws and the Hive Tyrant. Man, he's got like... I'm trying to think... What war gears has he not got? He hasn't got the improved Synapse. I think he's got every other war gear other than that and the Hive Tyrant. Oh, he doesn't have Psychic Scream either. Still. He's got 7 out of 9 of the war gears on this era. Awesome, I love it. So now we've got some Lightning Claw Terminators, so they're going to be... I mean, they're going to be more resilient to the melee attacks of the Swarm Lord, but... they're not really going to do any damage back to it. They will shred the Gene Stealers. Not fight the Gene Stealers one. I don't know what's going on here. The Swarm Lord is frozen. But yeah, the Gene Stealer's just getting into melee. Now the last cannon's gone and there's nothing that can kill a Swarm Lord. Hive Tyrant can easily 1v1 the Chaos Lord. Just got more HP and slightly more DPS. Plus he's got invulnerability and a shield. Maybe if the Chaos Lord had his claws and the Icon of Khorne, he'd have a chance. But not with this build. Carnifex just going to be guarding this VP. The Warriors can take it. Yeah, I don't know what Baton can... sorry, I don't know what WizardCat can do here. Eurothrope's just an easy play at this point. I'll just rip these Terminators to pieces with the Paroxysm. A good Paroxysm, if it gets its full damage on the Terminators, probably takes out about 30% of their HP. And it's super long range, so it's not on a very big cooldown. And then you can sap the energy out of one of the models and it pins it in place. So then it's really easy to kill that model with Death Spitters or just swarming it with melee. So the Neuro's really strong against Termies. A valiant effort really from WizardCat, but I think once he lost those two Predators in this engagement here against the Vex and the Hive Tyrant, that was kind of the game for him. I think he totally could have won it at that point, just... You need to use the advantage of the tank, where a tank can escape from bad engagements against Carnifex. Carnifex can't escape from bad engagements from tanks. So you should have just seen, shit, I'm outnumbered here, I don't have my forces, they're over on the east, trying to deal with Gene Stealers and Warriors. I've got to get out of here, I've got to come back with my full forces. If he did that and he took out the Carnifex, just think, he'd still have a nice Las Cannon Predator to deal with this Swarm Lord. He could then have dropped his Terminators. He could use his Terminators to guard this side against the Gene Stealers and the Warriors. He'd have been in a good way, but didn't play out. He lost the tanks and then he lost the game. But honestly, for a Sloppy Saturdays, that was pretty decent. I still got to upload it to a Sloppy Saturdays because I don't have any lower games that don't feature Space Marines, so it is what it is. But yeah, I thought that was pretty decent. Good on these guys. They're getting there for sure. Both of them, really. I like the compositional strategy. The macro is there. It's all just like it's not even it's not in engagement micro. It's the positioning, the macro in terms of positioning in between engagements and preparing for what you're going to see. So like the decision when these two Predators and the Havoc meet this blob here of double term against Hive Tyrant and Carnifex, and he's just sitting there with the two Predators for ages shooting the Hive Tyrant when it's invulnerable. Okay, that's micro, in battle micro. Should have seen, oh shit, he's invulnerable, move the tanks away, stop letting him get free damage on you. But a wider macro thing would have been, I really need my Chaos Lord here right now to tie up this Venom Cannon Carnifex in melee, and then I can take the trade with my tanks. Otherwise, a Carnifex out-trades my tanks, but that's fine because the Carnifex can't run away and it doesn't heal on the battlefield like as fast as repairing can. So if I just do some damage, I get away, I get repaired, and I come back, I can probably kill it, and it can't flee from me. So I should just get out of this engagement until my Chaos Lord is here. Like, that's like the inter-battle macro that you have to consider. But yeah, there you go, guys. That was the Sloppy Saturdays. No Space Marines once again. Hope you did enjoy. That's going to be all from your boy, Torpid, this time. Signing out.